Hello everyone, this is Lolly. I'm really excited about this video. I'm taking a break from the December daily series in order to do this. You might remember, if you were watching my stamp and scrapbook expo videos, that I shared this card we made at the Mega Make and Take. So it is beautiful. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of paper on there. You don't even have to pop them up, but you really want to, because it just brings such dimension to it. I got so excited about this. This is the company that makes these stamps, is Stamplistic. Got so excited about it that I went to their booth and did this one as well, which was a make and take that they had. Again, gorgeous colors. And I bought one of their stamps. Well, I bought a couple of them. And then I wanted to see, these are all neutrals, and I wanted to add some color. And so this is what I made when I was in the crop room. And so after I got home, I really couldn't get these out of my mind because I really liked them. So I got an account with them and I bought some of their stamps. So I want to demo this one here, and this is their Sunshine stamp. I've added several of the stamps into my shop, including this stamp here. And so it's kind of a trial run. We'll see how you guys like them. If you want more, I can order more and get more variety of what they have. For now, I want to show you too that this is what it is. It's a red rubber stamp. You can peel that off there. And then you really would benefit from using a stamp positioning tool, because you do want dark, crisp lines when you get that inking done. So all you need to do when you have your stamp is pick out several colors of cardstock that you think go well together and stamp it clearly on all of them. I do recommend using a smoother surface. This one here, the color is like maize, and I like it and I wanted to use it, but it is more of a coarse cardstock and it's hard to get a nice crisp line. So I had to stamp that several times to get the image. I'm glad that this is one of the ones that will be in the back instead of the front. And then all you do is start cutting down into your layers. You need some nice sharp pointy scissors. And after you do that, it's up to you. The very first one, the one that you want to go on the bottom, so let's do it this way. You want to cut around the entire image and try to preserve your black line. Don't cut your black line off. Okay, so you can see why you need sharp pointy scissors. You really need good fussy cutting scissors for this. Okay, so I am going to go around and cut this entire sun out of this cardstock. And I'm not going to bore you with it. I'll pause the video and come back when I'm done with this one. Okay, so this is done. Now I go to my next color and I'm going to cut one layer in, but where that layer is totally up to me. So it's up to you as well. I can cut down to just this very next black line. I can cut down to this one, leaving the points. I can cut down to this one, leaving the points. I can cut down to this one, leaving those points. I think what I'm going to do is cut down to this one and leave the points. So you'll see what I mean. Let's come in and grab that point there. And now I'm going to go around and like that, and leave that point on there. I could take the points off, but the point is, haha, punny, is that this point I will think about it. I may take it off later, but it would also give strength and stability to my next layer maybe. But now that I think about that, that doesn't really make any sense. I'm going to take those off. Yes, I am. I'm taking them off, and it'll make it so much easier to cut as well. And the reason it's not going to add stability to my next layer up is my next layer up is going to be popped up, and so therefore these points won't even be touching the points of the layer above it. So they can just come right off of there. And like that. Now this isn't even popped up, but you can see that already we're getting There, we're getting some interest in there. And then when this pops up, if I pop it up, it'll create even more interest. So now I take the next layer and I have to figure out where I'm going to go. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom. So I cut down to this layer because I wanted not as much of this color. This one I'm going to go in, see, I have 1, 2, 3 layers. I want the orange to be his face and the pokey things probably, or just his face. The dark orange will be just his face. This will be the spikes. So this one I'm going to go down to here, right there. And I think I am going to leave the spikes with it. So let's try. And that's what it's going to look like. If you're not sure whether to take more off, you can always do this and see how that looks. That's what it's looking like so far. Okay, I will pause the video while I cut this out. All right, so the next one is cut out. And again, even without popping these up or embellishing, you can see how it's really coming alive. Okay, so the next one will be this one. It will be just the spikes and the inner circle. I'm removing all of this right in there, and I will do a demo here showing that, and then I will again go off camera to finish it. And at this point, if you know you're not going to save your scraps, well, after I do the spikes, if you know by the time you get down to this center part here that that's all you're going to do, that's all you need to stamp out. You don't need to stamp the whole sun out, if that makes sense to you. Now see here, I have this little circle there, and I think I will try to preserve that because to cut it out the other way is not going to work really well either. So this is what the next layer will be, like that. Okay, alrighty, I'm going to pause the video again, and another layer done. And at this point, really, if you wanted to, you could off-center it like that, so that you see the other spikes going under it. It really wouldn't matter. It's totally up to you. But I think, okay, so there's that. That's another layer. And my final one will be his face, and that will be an easy one to do. And if you really want, you could take a craft blade, cut his face out, and then this whole piece here could be used for another design. Or the other thing you can do is come in at an angle, or at any angle, cut it out and preserve the outside piece and just tape it from the back. And that's a lot easier. So all you need to do is tape it right there, and you have a whole nother art piece right there that you can use. Okay, so here's what we have. But what I want to do is get some scrap paper, of which I have plenty from other projects that I have cut down. And I want to take a black marker and just go over the edges here because, you know, we're not perfect when we do our cutting. And if I have any orange sticking out, it's going to change the look of my whole project. You could lay the project down and do it, but I find that I tend to mess up that way and go into my project with the marker. So I'm going to pause the video and outline all of these. All right, I have blacked all those edges. The next step is to layer. I find it's better to use thin foam in between all the layers. You can do as you wish. And also, the company recommends these 3D foam squares that are black because when you're looking at your card from the side, such as like this, when you're rolling it around, you don't see all this white sticking out there. The black kind of blends in, the black foam blends in with all these black lines. So we're going to start here and add this one on top of there. I have two sizes in my shop. These are 1/4 inch wide. These ones are 0.43 inches square. So I do have these in my shop, and oh, it's perforated. Nice. So here's the comparison. The little papers you see are polka dotted. That doesn't mean that the squares are polka dotted. They're not. Okay, so one of the things you can do is you don't have to use the whole, I'm going to put a full one right in the center for strength, but then for the others, I think I'm going to go and cut these in half and get them to last a little longer. There we go. Now, we have to remember how much we're going to cover, so you might find it's better to put the foam on the layer that's going to go on top. Plus, I have the one in the center. And these are easy to peel. You don't even need a pokey tool. Okay, so that's the first layer. And then we go into this one is the next one. And this one, I don't think I am going to, let's see. Yeah, I will pop this one up. I think what I'm going to do is glue these two together, and that will give me strength on these spikes here. My cardstock was not very thick, so I felt that gluing these two layers together would give more strength to my spikes here. If you wanted those layers to pop up, another thing I could have done would be to make 2 layers of this exact same one and glue it together, and that would have made them stronger. Now this is going to get popped up from there. Another thing to consider is you do not need to do these in layers like this. You can put this on, you could stamp it on white cardstock, and you can color in the layers instead of doing this. Now, isn't that gorgeous? Okay, and we're not even done. So, oops, and we're not even done. Looks like I wasn't in focus that whole time. So, now what I want to do is add the embellishments. So I have these, they're in my shop too, and they are glitter dots or glitter stickers. And this is just a half a sheet. It's what's left over from the classes that I took. And they're in different sizes, so I'm going to go for the large ones here at first and put them right there. You can also use a craft blade to position these on your work. And again, it's totally up to you how many of these you put on and where you put them on. Like, I'm putting them in between all of these spikes, but I could put them under them as well. Okay, and I have another partial sheet left over. I'm trying to use those up too, but I need the big ones right now. Okay, that is really making this come alive. Now my fingers are inky. Okay, next I'm going to head to these right there. And I used up so many of the big ones, I'm going to go to the next size. If you have rhinestones, if you have Swarovski crystals, they do a great job. Be careful on rhinestones, because really cheap rhinestones and really bad glue is not a pretty combination, because it will crackle the silver backing on your stones and it'll make them cloudy as they dry. So what you want to do is make sure you're using really good, or test your glue with your rhinestones. Test them on something else before you put them on this project. You don't want to do all this work and then find out that you have a bad combination there. Very good. And now I'm going to go to these dots here, And I'm going to move down to a smaller one yet. There we go. Oh, so pretty, pretty. I could also put a really tiny, tiny one on the little spikes there. I think I'll try. Oh, I love it. Now, I would like to do something in his face to perk that up just a little bit. So let's see if some Wink of Stella for his cheeks, maybe. Another thing I could use Wink of Stella anywhere on here to bring out certain areas. Let's do it right here. Could also use marker to accent any of these. Very cool. Now, what do you do with this? So I do so many crafts and people always say, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? This can be a card. As you can see, we made a card here. Whatever color you put that on is up to you. I think that a white background really makes this pop. You could also pop this whole thing up from the base. You can see how the busyness of this, you know, it's up to you whether you think that that takes away from or adds to that there. You know, it's a matter of choice. So let's look at some ideas. Okay, so I showed you what it looks like on a white background. Let's put it on a black one. And because of the black lines around my images, I would think that it gets lost a little bit and you might need to pop that up a little bit. Here's an example of a completely different color, but I think it makes my yellows look funny. I don't like it. Here is a patterned paper. Very busy, but I also like that. I think so far my favorite is white. So if I want to use a colored, here's some of my work earlier here. 4.5. Let's go. If I want to use colored background, I can help pop this out by putting this on white and then putting it on the black or on the green. Oops, excuse me, like that. Could also put it on yellow or gold, or now I can put it on here, and I like that a lot too. So here's what we can do. I think that was 4.5-inch square. Let's see what this is. This is 5.5. So if I were to mount this on that, could even do it at an angle. Okay, and now that can go on there just like that. So this can be a card. You can use these on the front of journals. People have actually made jewelry with these. And I do have, in my shop, I have a smaller one that's a heart that can be made into jewelry and pins a lot more easily. So there you go. I just think that these are so much fun to play with, and it's very relaxing. And it's something that you could do while you're watching television to do all your fussy cutting. And the possibilities are endless. So we've got neutrals here. We've got all in the same color scheme with the yellows and oranges, and we have completely contrasting colors there. So totally up to you how you run with this, and make sure you look at the links down below. I'll give you the link to the black foam squares as well as the stamp collection that I have. They're different prices because they're different sizes. So, and there's even a Christmas image in there as well. So take a look. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'll also give you the link to the glitter dot stickers